Welcome to The Wall. Today, we'll talk about the new trend among men, the soft boy. We'll explain what it's all about and why the modern woman is all riled up about this new trend. Before we dive in, we want to thank you for being here. Your support means a lot to us. If you like what you see, we invite you to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. We'd also love to hear your experiences in the comments. Your participation helps us grow and reach more people. Thanks for being part of our project. Let's get started.
What's actually hilarious is the amount of women that are outraged by this soft guy era, because basically these men are flipping the roles on them and they realize how ridiculous and unrealistic it sounds when a man says it, but then when they say it, it's not ridiculous. Like, some women have even gone as far as to call these men gay and act really homophobic towards them for simply asking for what they're asking for. And what I get from it, even if it is a joke, jokes aside, it's about reciprocation, and it's showing how many women expect it automatically because their inflated egos are telling them that they deserve it no matter what, without any reciprocation. And I don't know about you guys, but any relationship that you're in deserves appreciation, reciprocation, and I think a lot of you guys need to go back to kindergarten where we learn to treat others how you want to be treated. Because if you don't want to be used, then don't use people. If you don't want to be looked at as a paycheck, don't be a gold digger. If you want respect, you have to give respect. If you want someone to be compassionate and considerate, you have to be compassionate and considerate. And yes, this absolutely goes both ways. So the fact that so many women are showing the fact that they'll never reciprocate the same energy, this explains why so many men are out here, just match my energy and I'll match yours. And the problem is, it's not happening. It's the same way that so many women will come online and bash men and talk shit about men and talk about their first dates being awful. But the moment that my platform or other women like me call out toxic behaviors, it's a problem. So y'all can talk shit about men and their toxic behaviors, but when women call you out on your own toxic behaviors, it's different. Anyways, drizzle, kings. Okay, bye.
Absolutely. Women have long played this game of famous standards, saying what a man should or shouldn't have to date them. But when a man has standards and uses the same cheap manipulation psychology they use, they get offended. Of course, because equality sounds nice as long as it suits me, why do you think you have the right to ask for a man who's 6 feet tall, who earns 6 figures or $100,000 a year, who always pays for dates, who takes you to expensive places where you can take your photos where everything will be seen except the sponsor of the date? And on top of that, he must be well endowed, just to, in the best case scenario, date a woman who's barely a 4 in looks, and on top of that, poor. And even if the man meets all those standards, the purple-haired ones always look for something to complain about because they always deserve more. Every action has a reaction, and in this case, it's the soft boys. We'll see this term better explained in the next video.
If you don't know what the soft guy era is, or you just simply hate the soft guy era, this video is for you. Shout out to my fellow Mark Pollard, for dropping a slideshow on Instagram explaining what this is. So if you didn't know, me and my brother Goody started the soft guy era a few weeks ago, and it's going viral. We have been wreaking havoc on the internet, and so have the rest of y'all. We love the support. Keep dropping y'all videos. Let's keep making them mad. So now we're going into detail on what this is. The idea. Men in their soft guy era want to find high-value women who can take care of them in ridiculous ways. Yes, we do. They want us to have money. I want my woman to have money as well. It's only right. Drizzle. The soft guy era is a response to the soft girl era of 2023. It mocks videos in which women demand ridiculous things from men. It twists a mnemonic device from YouTuber Letitia Puday, aka the Sprinkle Lady. It's a supervision of alpha male content. And then here's the kicker, and this is what they don't like. The 4 points. Women say they want equality, but then some demand the most unequal situations from men. And this includes men paying all the bills, but the woman is making money as well, but she doesn't want to come out of pocket because she's a woman, right? Doesn't make sense. That doesn't sound equal to me. Now we're going to go down to insight. If men acted like this, they'd be laughed out the room. See, now when women are hearing these things, they're like, oh, this is ridiculous. No way. You want a mom. You want a parent. You want a man. No, we just want what you guys want from us in return. Now on to the advantage. Men believe they bring a lot to the table, so maybe they are now the table. See, a lot of men don't realize they are the table. If a man is paying all the bills, sir, you are the table. You're providing for a woman and your children. You are the table. But a lot of men don't realize who they are. So they really don't know they've been manipulated into living old-fashioned ways. That shit is over and it's dead. These women get money now. It's time to spend that money now and contribute and work as a team. Eve was made to be a helpmate to Adam. Let's not play. Now the strategy. Show how outrageous it is when men demand to be provided for in the same equality. We all know being a provider in 2024 is a scam, so we don't care. So we're not doing that anymore. We know that's old fashioned. These women got money. These women are working, so they need to contribute. We want a helpmate.
Exactly. That's how we'll teach women to value and not take for granted what a man brings to the table. Nowadays, we see videos, especially on TikTok, of women constantly complaining about everything men do. Women with male partners, whether husbands or boyfriends, complain about everything they do for them, saying they should do more according to them. We're in an era of women's dissatisfaction. They always deserve more. That's the discourse sold to them by those with purple and pink hair, telling them they are the prize. They always talk about what they do, which is the minimum, not about everything a man has to do to keep them happy. And why do I say women are dissatisfied? Simple. The divorce rate is 80% initiated by women. If you ask 10 women how many partners they've had, whether boyfriends or husbands, who ended the relationship, I bet 9 out of 10 were the ones who ended all their relationships because something was always missing. That's why men are changing. Seeing that in this game, we always end up losing. We're a machine that generates benefits, but we're not rewarded. We're not treated with respect. We're not given the love they seek, and we're not cared for as we deserve. So, if you want a man to treat you like a queen, you first have to know how to earn the favor of the king.
Boyfriend broke up with me because I forgot to send him his daily allowance for his soft guy era of $5,000. I only sent him $2,000 and he told me that it was giving broke and he deserves so much more. Last week, I got him a new Lexus and he told me that kings don't drive Lexuses, that he was expecting a Mercedes-Benz S-Class and that it wasn't good enough because he knows his worth. And of course, I don't love him enough if I don't understand that. Last night, I tried to plan a date to Bonefish Grill, but he told me only Capital Grill, so he made me pay for an Uber to take him home because he absolutely refused to be there with me. He told me he only deserves the best because his mom always gave him the best, and he deserves Prince treatment all of the time. I planned a trip to Hawaii, but he expected first class and a trip to Hong Kong and Bora Bora, and because I didn't come through, he told me that I wasn't good enough, and that if I really loved him, I'd spend more money on him. The other reason he said he broke up with me is because I only sent him $100 for his maintenance when really it was $500. And he told me that I'm so broke because I can't afford his basic maintenance and that he's a king and he needs to be well maintained if I want to date him. The other reason he broke up with me is because after working 16 hours a day, I didn't have food cooked and on the table for him like a couple nights ago. And he told me if I wanted to, I would. And that I just didn't give a shit about him because I didn't have it ready. Obviously, I didn't love him bad enough. And that's my bad. I should have known better. Okay, bye.
I support men recognizing their worth, but I don't like abuse because then we'd be repeating the same pattern that gold diggers have been doing to men for years. Brothers, let's not fall into that trap. Let's be better. Although I must say, if a woman invests so much in a man, it's because he brings a lot to the table, even if it's just in physical appearance. Yes, because surely she's with the Chad, a man who brings nothing to the table but his seed. He'll take everything he can from her. Now that women have to invest, they fall more in love when they invest in the man. The more effort a woman puts into the relationship, the harder it is for her to let go of the bond because it's difficult for her to leave the man where she has invested her time, money, and years of youth. That's why these Chads play with that. They take everything they can.
Don't like 50-50. I don't do coffee dates. I don't care how much money I ever make. I still want my man to pay for everything. He should pick me up. He should drop me off. He should buy me Ubers. In exchange, he gets to not embarrass me and breathe my air. I think it's pretty fair. I think we're even Stevens. Otherwise, I don't need a man just to have a man.
Oh no, it doesn't sit right with me. I don't care how much money I make. I still want my man to pay for everything. How about no? See, a lot of women have never came across a man that told them no. They're simply just not used to that. See, it's 2024. You're going to be making money. You're going to be spending that shit. You're not just going to be sitting there spending all my money while you're sitting on yours. You're going to be spending it. I don't care. See, this is what the soft guy era is about. You women are going to start coming out of pocket. It doesn't make sense. You're a grown woman. You're going to be paying grown woman bills. And see, my problem with this is a lot of women sit here and say, oh, well, if I'm going to be paying bills, I'm going to be paying all my own bills without a man. If I'm going to pay bills, I'm going to pay all of my own without a man instead of going half on them. It doesn't make sense. And this logic shows you that they only look at men as wallets. That's literally all they look at men as, wallets. I'm telling you, that's exactly what it is. A lot of you men need to start telling these women no to see if they even really like you for real. I came across some women, bro. They be like, oh, you're the first man that ever told me no. I'm like, what? I'm the first man to ever tell you no. See, a lot of men can't keep a woman unless they're spending all their money. That's why. Listen, if she's thinking like this, bro, you're not dealing with a woman, bro. You're not. You're dealing with a spoiled little girl, a spoiled brat. A brat. That's all you're dealing with. I don't care how much money I make. My man should still pay everything. You're stingy and you're selfish. I don't need a selfish woman in my life. I don't. I'm in my soft guy era.
Absolutely. Many of these women are raised by single mothers, constantly exposed to all these dating coaches, feminist women telling them they're a prize, that if their man loves them, he should pay for everything, take care of them, pamper them. They're queens and deserve nothing less. But what have you done for that man? Have you ever spent any of your money to please your man? Have you at least offered? Of course, he wants to use you as an ATM. The moment you can't afford his luxuries, he'll trade you for someone else. That's how these modern women are. That's why they're increasingly lonely. The days of giving everything for you and receiving nothing in return are over. As I said, if you want to be treated like a queen, you first have to earn the favor of the king. You have to qualify with me to see if you're the woman I want to spend my money on. If I don't see you putting effort into me, well, move along because there are more women waiting in line. You're no longer the prize. My presence also has value.
I don't know what's better, is these dudes fighting back about taking their gym back and not being called gym creeps anymore, or this drizzle, because girl, the way these men are fighting back has me cackling. I am in love with this drizzle, because the way these women are losing their damn minds, and these men's comment sections are getting blown the hell up. I don't know which one I like more. You know what? I do know. I love the drizzle more. I love the drizzle more because you have so many delusional women out here thinking that they were doing something with their, what is it, 4B, 4A, for don't give a shit. And they expect these men to just roll over and take it. These women have done nothing short of absolutely obliterate men for the last few years. Now you're going to learn what consequences are, because these men aren't going to take it anymore. They're not going to take it anymore. So the masculinity, the machismo, what is it, the high value, all of the garbage that these women put out, y'all are going to learn. Put your boots on. Put your boots on, because I cannot wait for these construction workers, for these men that do these disgusting, dirty jobs so women's hands can stay clean. I can't wait till they start quitting. And then we're all going to be shit out of luck. Because those women that demanded that these men stop being so masculine, that all of this masculinity is toxic. Lace up your boots, ladies. Lace up your boots. Get out there and go take those jobs, because, you know, everybody should be equal, right? You can do what a man can do. Lace those boots up.
These women spent years saying they don't need any man, that they're strong and independent, that men shouldn't exist, that masculine men are toxic, and if we complain, we're misogynists. They even took away the places where we used to go to get away from their drama and be more comfortable in our masculinity. Sports bars, clubs, our sanctuary, the gym, everywhere we could be away from all their drama. And they forgot that the house they walk in was built by a man. The plumbing was done by a man. The car they drive was made by a man. And when it breaks down, they have to find a man to fix it. The streets they walk on were made by men. If men stop being men, their bubble world collapses. That's why I hope artificial intelligence keeps advancing, comfortable office jobs start disappearing. Let's see how they'll survive. Because believe me, even the Blue app will go bankrupt when everyone has a $1.95 channel. They used and humiliated men so much that they made men want to follow the path of MGTOW. Now they want soft boys who aren't willing to do anything for them. Chivalry is dead. Dark times are coming for you ladies. You'll miss having a masculine man in your life. Brothers, as I always say, focus on your path in life. Learn to value yourselves. Live your soft boy life because you deserve to be treated with respect, like the king you are.
I don't know why everyone keeps staring at me today. Have I got something on my face?
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll see how a woman was deceived by her false empowerment. She left her husband for her social media, calling this man an abuser, only to later regret her divorce and the loss of her dream life as a millionaire. Before we begin, we want to thank you for being here. Your support means a lot to us. If you enjoy what you see, we invite you to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. We'd also love to hear about your experiences in the comments. Your engagement helps us grow and reach more people. Thank you for being part of our project. Let's get started.
And on today's episode of Another Woman That Has Now Regretted Her Divorce. Let's go.
Hey, it's Jenna. Recently divorced and kind of figuring out this new way of life. I was married for 23 years and with that person for 3 years prior. So for a total of 26 years of my life, I have been out of the game of dating, making friends, going out, and stuff like that as a single woman in her 40s. Yeah, I'm 47. So I've raised children. My children are adult children now. And it's kind of interesting because it's so lonely at this stage in life after divorce, especially with older children, because you make all your friends when they're younger, or at least I did. I met my friends mostly through my kids' activities. I was a stay-at-home mom and I took them to practices. I went to school, all that stuff.
Hey, it's me, Jenna. Recently divorced and trying to survive this year. I'm gonna be honest. The random things that trigger me are the craziest things. I'm sitting in my car, literally sitting in my car, trying to pull myself together because I did what any mom does, and I pulled an emergency drive to my daughter because she needed something and drove an hour because she's at college to drop something off, and was just so thankful that I could do it for her and fit her in my schedule. And the littlest thing she said just triggered me, and this is the second time in a week that my child has triggered me without even meaning to. So we're getting ready to leave and she's like, well, I'll be home because I'm going to be at the Clemson Notre Dame game because Dad's going to take us all. You think that's nothing, right? Nothing, right? And it instantly, she instantly saw a switch in me. And she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing. Because, I don't talk about that stuff. I don't want her to worry. So last week she says, oh, well, Dad said for Christmas we're going to go to Gatlinburg and be there for the holidays and do Dollywood. That man never once ever went to Gatlinburg or Dollywood ever in his entire life before he met me. That was where my family always went. I'm from Tennessee. That's something we always did. It was a bonding thing. And now that's what he's trying to do. It's like he's taken every single tradition I've ever done and now turned it into his. Everything I've ever done. Now I find myself triggered because during the hardest time of my year last year, of me literally trying to stay alive, me dealing with all the craziness of my ex, the lying, the alienation, him calling me a whore, him having my children call me a whore. Why? Not because I did anything bad, because I wore spaghetti straps and all that. And the only way that he could use my children against me was to say I was on social media.
Brothers, I have often said that women do not marry for love, but for a lifestyle. Another thing that women sometimes overlook when they divorce is what their lifestyle will be like after the divorce. There is a universal law that says habit is stronger than love. This woman married a high-value man apparently. She was surely the typical young, beautiful woman who marries a wealthy man. It seems she divorced this man because, like any high-value man, he set boundaries. Women don't like being limited because, as we all know, responsibility is kryptonite for women. She exchanged her family for living her life on social media. Now at 47, it seems she forgot that in the divorce she gave up the economic comfort that this man provided. She only planned trips and grand vacations without any headaches because her husband covered all expenses. Now she's angry because her husband, thanks to her, enjoys all those places, but she can't because she forgot that her lavish lifestyle was thanks to her husband, who lived it. She was a poor woman from a small town. I love karma. Let's see the next part.
I'm a photographer. I make silly TikToks. Honestly, I'll probably progress more with my TikToks because at first they were just pictures, but the more I was stressed, the more I hid in myself, the more I tried to survive, the more I took refuge in TikToks and finding stuff that, resonated with me. And honestly, it's the way I realized what a covert narcissist was, or how bad my abuse was, or mental abuse, or financial abuse, and all that stuff. Like, literally, TikTok has saved my life in so many ways. Who would think, Mom, we're going to Gatlinburg for Christmas, would trigger me? This man's had at least 3 vacations in the past year to like really nice places with my children. At least 3 that I know of, because he has them lied to me. He has them outright lied to me about so much stuff. So who knows? God knows what they've done. And then the holidays and all that. Now my triggers are, oh, he gets to just go and take my kids to the Notre Dame and Clemson game. I wish I could do that. I can't afford to do that. Why? Because he screwed me. He lied about owning a company. And there's ways to prove it. I'm trying to be happy and show my kids that like life can move on, but the triggers, the random fucking triggers that had me sitting in a Quick Trip parking lot trying not to cry. Why? Because my ex has so much money. He makes more than $18,000 a month easily, or at least he did. He made almost $1 million the year before we divorced and then lied about it. He has all the money at his fingertips to do whatever he wants, to buy my children, take them on trips, take them on vacations. Why I literally have the bare minimum to pay my bills, on top of trying to restart a career because it was a hobby, because I was a stay-at-home mom. And now I sit here with the triggers. A fucking trigger because he's going to the Clemson Notre Dame game with my kids. I can't just randomly afford that. Hell, I can't even get them all in the same room at the same time. So I sit here and I'm gonna get through this trigger. I'm gonna suck it up, buttercup.
So let's just be real
and I'm move on. But it's not fair. Like, it's not fair. I'm pissed.
Lifestyle that man was able to give you. That's really all it is. Now, on to part 2.
Brothers, money makes the monkey dance. This woman doesn't miss her ex-husband or family trips. She misses her money, what it allowed her to do, the life she could live. Now she's upset because she has nothing from her abuser, because that man was so bad that he took her on trips and gave her a great life. But now that she's asked for a divorce, she feels cheated because she can't live the lavish lifestyle of her abuser. This man isn't harming her. He just wants to spend more time with his kids, create memories, take them on vacations. She's simply jealous because she doesn't have a life, because no one invites her out, because apparently even her friend she met when she was married has pulled back. Now she feels alone. But remember, she asked for a divorce from her abusive husband, whom TikTok supposedly saved her from. But TikTok apparently doesn't have money. This is why women make decisions without thinking and then regret them. Because she had a millionaire husband, a big house, good kids, nice vacations, but she let herself be influenced by feminism. She empowered herself, started to resent her husband setting boundaries, probably enjoyed the attention from social media, especially from the simps. She thought everything would be rosy if she divorced. but she realizes that her great life came with her husband, not from her own efforts. I love karma, but let's see what else there is to this story.
So tell me how am I not supposed to be feeling triggered or screwed? Because the reality, yeah, there's no doubt I easily could make bank right now. I've heard it a ton. I can make an OnlyFans. I mean, if you knew how many offers I've had from men who literally say to me, oh, I'll take care of you, just do X, Y, and Z, or be my girlfriend, or marry me, I'll take care of you the rest of your life. I don't want that. I don't want to do an OnlyFans. I will not do an OnlyFans. Like, I have nothing against people do. Like, to each their own. I don't want to do that. I don't want my children to see that. I will not be with another man so that he can take care of me. Like, I didn't want that to begin with. I got married because I was in love and wanted to be married forever and wanted to build a family. I'm sure as hell not going to go with some man now just so that he can pay my bills. So when people say, how are you ready to date? Because this was a thing, he's ready to date too. Like, but I'm trying to just live and survive right now. So it's funny, I've been on like 5 different dates, like different guys, multiple dates with some of them, but only 5 dates, different guys I've ever been on dates. And you would think it would be a lot more. I'm just not that girl. Like, I'm just not that girl that's a serial dater. And honestly, like, it's crazy. Like, I could do a whole TikTok on things I've learned now that I have to ask. Like, who knew that you had to ask, are you married? Do you have a girlfriend? Does anybody think you're married? Does anybody think that they're your girlfriend? Have you ever been with a man? Because if you've ever been with a man, I don't want to be with you. I don't care if you're bisexual or whatever, that's your thing. But no, I don't want to be with someone who wants to be with a man. Do you have a job? Are you a criminal? Do you do drugs? Like, it's amazing the list of stuff you...
Brothers, how beautiful karma is. Here I'll highlight several things. You know, she doesn't miss her husband. She misses her lifestyle, her money. She's upset because she's realizing the reality that she has to pay her own bills now, which her husband used to take care of. Because what she's going through happens to thousands of women who decide to divorce. Most likely she had a single friend, or there were men wooing her, saying, leave your husband, come with me. She let herself be wooed by the simps, who would say anything to have a night of passion. 5 dates after her divorce, surely the men who were already divorced were wooing her. She thought that when she divorced, she would get all the money. Now she regrets it because she's left with nothing, because the kids prefer to be with their dad. They're adults now and will go where there's money to solve problems, to provide vacations, not with the bitter and broke mom. Look at what she's thinking now. If she entered the world of the Blue app, she left a marriage to ride the carousel, but it's not the same at 20 as it is at 47 when no man wants to deal with an old, capricious single mother who would only be an expense. But brothers, look how she regrets leaving her abuser in the next video.
I don't know. I'm in a different stage today. Honestly, I literally have been having a great week, amazing week. And then all of a sudden today, my emotions, I had the craziest thoughts. And I wonder, does anybody else feel this way? Like, I feel like I'm in mourning of the life I thought that I was going to have. And I'm kind of pissed at myself. I stayed in a marriage for 23 years and built up a family and my ex's career and everything. And we literally just got to where it was supposed to be everything we dreamed of. Like, owned a company, making, almost $1 million. And that was my breaking point. And I left it all. And I'm not a person that is about money, and I'm not a person who feels like they have to have like labels and name brands and all that stuff. But I really have found that, like, I've kind of been in mourning of the, like, oh my gosh, like, I gave it all up. And I don't have a traditional career. I'm a photographer that in my marriage, it was made to be a hobby. So it wasn't like I had a 9 to 5 where I got 401, where I got steady income, all that. Yes, I market the crap out of my business. Yes, I'm an amazing photographer. And yes, I have so many amazing clients. They're great. But the reality was, like, everything was around my family. So when I chose to leave, I gave it all up. Like, all up. And most people are like, oh, well, you know, you should have got your end in court. No. South Carolina has some crazy, crazy rules. And I came out of a situation where I had been mentally abused, financially abused for 23 years. Like, I was gaslit for so long that when I finally left, I had no clue that the worst was yet to come in the 1 year of separation. And so it's weird because I find that I just thought today for a split second, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I thought, I should have just stayed. I should have stayed. It wasn't that bad. Like, you made it 23 years. You made 26 years total. Your kids are like college and one's almost out of high school. Like, you made it. You made it. Like, it didn't matter at this point. They can do their own separate life and all that. You made it to the point where you guys were making so much money and you had big houses and you could do whatever you want and you can...
Brothers, the wall doesn't forgive. It's that women first have to go through a tough time to realize that things aren't as they were told. Surely you thought, I'll leave my husband, take half of his money, make him pay me alimony, I'll go partying, live the life with the Chads, while my abusive ex-husband finances everything for me. But a man doesn't become a millionaire by being an idiot. Just as money gave you a good life, it can also pay for very good lawyers. And you thought your life would be super interesting as it was, traveling with the kids, but of course, selfishly if you're ex-husband, because you're selfish. It backfired on you. First, you didn't take your husband's money. Second, there's no alimony. You're so dumb that you forgot your kids are adults. There's no child support to claim. You can't blackmail your ex-husband with your kids anymore. In short, you're left alone with a cat. You can't access the places you used to go to because you don't have money, because you thought you were high society. That was your husband who allowed it. But you wanted TikTok, your savior from your abuser. Now you realize you have to work to pay your bills. It wasn't so bad. Where are the men who wanted to marry you? Brothers, let's see the last part so you can see where it ended.
Had big houses and you could do whatever you want and you can relax. It wasn't that bad. And I literally just called my friend. I was like freaking out because, like, I'm the biggest person that keeps me back. Like, I'm terrified. I don't have 401k. My counsel did not have my back. I was so traumatized when I got out and then terrorized for the next year that I couldn't even think straight to help the people that wanted to help me. It wasn't that bad. And the people I entrusted to help me didn't help me. And there's just timelines that you can't stop. And so it is what it is. And, you know, I'm 47 years old. It's not like I'm 25, but it is terrifying. Like, I could have stayed. I had a huge house and all my bills were paid for and I never had to think how they were going to get paid. My grass was cut. Well, not the last year of separation. But you know what I mean? All the basic things that keep the image up. And I gave up my entire image that I was trained to have for my family for 23 years. Like, I was the stay-at-home mom and I made the image of we were the perfect family. I have beautiful children. They were dressed right. They, you know, did top sports like cheer and football and went to all that stuff. And I was, you know, the cheer mom and, you know, did all that stuff and then did photography on the side just to make money, to make ends meet while he built his career up. And I stayed long enough to just give it all up when it was like right there. Just walking through Home Depot hoping that Santa forgot a deal from the shelf.
Damn, you can't make this shit up. The wall doesn't forgive. Brothers, I love how karma works. Look where she is now, at Home Depot, the one who said she had men wanting to marry her. Women think life is always rosy. Look at how she says she lost her image. Of course, you don't have anyone to finance your lifestyle anymore. She's not interested in money. No way. The lawyer told her we can win and take everything. Friends told her we'll be there for you. But when push comes to shove, no one wants to deal with other people's problems. Now it hurts her because she doesn't have a 401k, doesn't have a career, has bills to pay. Surely the money she took from her husband is running out. Her kids went on to live their lives. Surely they want to be close to their millionaire entrepreneur father, not their broke mother. And not that your ex-husband was an abuser. Now you see reality. Now you understand that that fantasy life was maintained by your husband's work, that you could never access that lifestyle through your own efforts. Of course, you're a fool. You left a great life at 47 to go on adventures. Surely your single friends encouraged you, probably envious of you. And you, so dumb, believe them. You know what would be the greatest thing? If your ex-husband married a younger, more beautiful woman who could live the life you were living, so you can see her cry tears of blood. That's why I say they never appreciate what a man does for them until karma makes them pay for everything they did to their ex-husband. That's why I say the wall doesn't forgive.
Okay, baby, I'm sorry. Simple. You know that I was into a lot, but I never meant to do that way, but you never think of my feelings and you don't know that I love you, but at the same time you despise me. At the same time I get angry and multiple and you don't care, well, but I do forgive you, but at the same time you do.
Welcome to the wall. In today's video, we'll see how a woman stops loving the beta provider, wanting to leave him because he's too nice, just as modern women keep complaining about everything men do, even though they are the ones with the problem. Before we begin, we want to thank you for being here. Your support means a lot to us. If you like what you see, we invite you to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. We'd also love to hear about your experiences in the comments. Your engagement helps us grow and reach more people. Thank you for being part of our project. Let's get started.
Women are drafted to the military. I am most excited to see the confrontation between commanding officers and the girls.
Between commanding officers and the girls? Oh dear.
Think we're gonna let you yell at us? You think we're gonna do something without a please and thank you?
Please allow me to introduce a little reality into this situation, because personnel in the military are under legal obligation to follow all lawful orders that they are given. And a please and a thank you are not required.
We've all had controlling ex-boyfriends. We know not to put up with that bullshit.
It's almost as if they're not understanding that it's not just men that are in positions of authority in the military.
Like, let's sit down and have a conversation about what you want and what I want, and we'll reach a happy medium. Because there's no way I'm doing what you want when you use that tone with me. You think you can push us around like you do with these men? Think again, baby. You're gonna learn some manners.
And I think one would learn very quickly that having a bad attitude and obvious problems with people in positions of authority wouldn't get one very far. But most importantly, the Uniform Code of Military Justice doesn't play.
Sometimes I wonder where they get these NPCs, because really every day there's one crazier than the other. It's like these women get so caught up in this empowerment and feminist rhetoric that they think everyone will do as they say. Firstly, in the military, there are women who are even stricter than men. Secondly, with all that fat, I doubt you can even fit into the uniform. Where do you think you're going with that body? To McDonald's? Besides, they think the military is like going on vacation, that anyone can just join up, that there won't be a war where you have to fight to avoid feeling true terror. Sometimes, honestly, I wish these women could experience what it's like for a man, the meaning of defending your country. Wars aren't like the movies where there's a hero, but people who go in with the same fear as you, just looking to survive. These women live in their bubble created by the patriarchy, so they don't have to work for anything. They don't know what real hardship is, working in a world privileged to be born in a Western country.
What the fuck is wrong with men? I just saw a video that will likely stay with me for years and scar me for years.
Alright then, let's hear about it.
It was a video, it looked like of a gas station. A woman is seen exiting a car and running away with a man running after her from the same car.
Okay, and?
The woman runs up to another man who is pumping gas, grabs his arm, is seemingly begging for help. The man following her is her abusive boyfriend that she is trying to get away from. He picks her up, slings her over his shoulder, and walks away as she is pounding on his back, screaming at the other man, begging for help. The other man doesn't even react. Like, I don't mean he like tries to intervene and then doesn't. I mean he is literally pumping gas. When she runs up to him, his head kind of turns, and other than that, he doesn't move. He doesn't react at all. And he just watches this man drag this woman away and throw her back into the car and does nothing.
Not surprisingly, I doubt that one is going to like what I have to say about this.
For all the men who say, you know, you can't protect yourself, you just need a man to protect you, who's going to protect you if, you know, you don't have a man? Men don't do shit. You just become bystanders to our abuse.
Thanks indeed for the demonstration. A demonstration in the fact that I do believe that the education system, possibly on this entire continent, has failed numerous people, because we have reached the point, and we continue to go past it actually, where it's becoming very acceptable for an individual to generalize an entire group of people based on the actions of one person. In this case, it's based on their gender. What other generalizations are we going to make now based on the actions of some? I wonder, what's next?
Of course, because according to the woman's version of events, the man had to go risk his life fighting the toxic guy you chose as a partner. After he risks his life defending you, you'll just watch as the police arrive, panic at seeing your toxic boyfriend going to jail, and then you'll say this man attacked you. This man will only get into trouble for getting involved in something that's none of his business. Women hardly ever leave abusive men when they're dating them. They get beaten and endure everything, still sticking with these men. Why should I, as a man, get involved in problems that aren't mine to begin with? Why risk my life for someone who'll just end up saying, I didn't ask you to do that? If things go well, all I'll get is a thank you. You're strong and independent. You don't need any man. You say all men oppress you, that they're sexist and misogynistic, but only until you need a man's help. If it's a guy asking for help, the woman ignores him and just says he deserves it for being a man. Brothers, avoid chaos in your life. Don't get involved in problems that aren't yours.
I'm telling you, it is the wildest thing when you wake up one day and you realize you feel nothing, that it is gone and it's never coming back, and you're not even sure if it was ever really there. Literally, you wake up, it hits you, and you're freaked out because you don't understand what's happening. And you just think, how did I get here? How did I build a whole world with this person? And I feel nothing. You almost feel crazy. They're not bad. There wasn't a fight. There wasn't a big event that made you say, I'm done. Like that. And you spend days, weeks, even years trying to deny that you're dead and done. You make coffee, you have dinner, you go out, you even have sex. You just go through the motions like this is going to come back, right? But wait, what's it even going to come back to? You don't want to blame someone who's completely unassuming and unaware that all of this is going down in your head and your heart. But then you remember all the little things they didn't do. Not out of meanness, they just didn't do them. They didn't send you those sweet texts. They didn't do those sweet little out of the blue things, ever. Every time you gave something exciting to them, they didn't give it back to you. There was a little bit of an eye roll. Maybe they just always made you feel like you're going to be there and we can kind of just not take this love and this effort seriously. And you just got used to it. You laughed and you appreciated their kindness, their fact that they stuck it out with you. They were good. But maybe all those things added up. Maybe you needed more. Maybe you needed something electrifying. Maybe because they were really nice and really good, you thought it was electrifying, but it never was electrifying. And now you're left with, what am I going to do? I'm going to keep waking up next to this person and I feel nothing. And now I'm starting to go crazy. Now I'm starting to want this thing that I'm realizing was never there. But now I really want it. And now I'm so scared. I might start looking for it. What are you going to do? It's the wildest thing.
Brothers, I've always said anxiety, uncertainty, and instability will always be your best allies because a person's reaction would be that this woman is married to a good man. They don't fight, they're comfortable, but she's not happy because they don't like being with a good man or a beta provider. That's why I say they're not reactive beings. They're people who enjoy the bad life. If she were with a Chad, a man who brings nothing to the table except his seed, this man would have her on an emotional roller coaster, living in uncertainty. This woman would be deeply in love, saying she'd never leave this man, because this man gives her anxiety, uncertainty, and instability. Comfort is boring for a woman. Women like men who tell them what they want to hear but do the opposite because they're irrational people. They have that masochistic part inside them that craves drama and the bad life.
I think any man that's their number one requirement for a woman is
Oh, let's hear what this is about.
for a woman to be his piece. You just know you're dealing with a true fucking menace to the dating pool.
All because he wants peace in a relationship. He's a menace to the dating pool? Oh, goodness.
Because what the fuck do you mean you need me to be your piece?
What does it really sound like? It sounds like the guy wants his partner to bring peace to his life, not to bring problems. I didn't think it was that complicated.
If you gotta ask for peace, you're a piece of shit. Honestly.
What? Why would a person say such a thing? Could it be that individuals with this particular mindset actually do understand how priceless it is for a person to be able to bring peace to another in a relationship? Because at the end of the day, all they have to offer, all they can indeed bring to the table, is chaos with drama.
These women are not wife material. It bothers her when the man seeks peace in their relationship, and I wonder, what do you offer then? You don't bring money into the relationship. You don't have conversational topics because most women aren't fun. You don't pay for anything. You're just an expense. In short, you're a disaster because you can't even give this man peace. This is where I tell you to avoid chaos in your life. Women like this think they deserve everything. They're the ones who make your life a living hell. They won't give you peace. They'll always be an expense. No matter what you do for them, they'll always find something to complain about. Living with a woman like this, honestly, is hell. Because a man looks for a woman with whom to build a home. When we say peace, it's that when you enter that house, you feel that there's someone who supports you, someone who performs acts of service for you, who appreciates you, who loves you, who makes every day with him great. When a man finds a woman who brings him that tranquility and peace, that man doesn't wait for the moment to leave work to return home to see his wife, his safe place. But the modern woman is not wife material to give you something like that.
I'm telling y'all, Matt!
Oh, goody goody. Yelling.
You guys need to freaking get it together. Because, oh my god, I want a family. I want kids.
Okay, and?
And you guys suck! You suck.
How so?
Like, in this generation, I am not getting the family that I want. Nor am I getting children because you guys suck!
Still waiting on that explanation as to why.
That's all. Like, do I have to marry someone twice my age because y'all little boys, however old you are, act like little children?
Well, about that.
Because I don't want someone twice my age. But if that's what it freaking takes, like...
Like what? Just a thought. But individuals are not only attracted to what a person looks like, but how they behave. And if a person behaves in such a manner, it's no small wonder that they're not attracting individuals that are more emotionally mature.
He never notices that the modern woman seeks a partner in a way that assimilates to her mold. It's like she wants a prototype of a man, and if it's not like that, then he's trash. But she never questions if she's the one with the problem, or her selection of men. Because, of course, there are men of all kinds, shapes, and attitudes. But if you like Chads, and they all end up playing with you in the end, then the problem is you. Because imagine you've dated 4 men whom you gave a chance, and with whom you related to in every way, and none of them stayed with you. Then, the problem must be you because you're the only common factor here, don't you think, brothers? And, above all, we know that it's usually the woman who ends the relationships, not the man. So it's not that men aren't good. It's that you're never satisfied with anyone because in the end, the problem is you. Because you're attracted to this kind of behavior, then you get bored of them. That's why I tell you anxiety, uncertainty, and instability are your best allies. Closing.
我就是该死，我就是不该不配活在这个世界上，我就不配。你愿意是谁吗？难道你不同意吗？我不想嫁，人们很想我的感受啊！同志还是无比长的，绝对金贵，这个不要那个不要，你要歧视我吗？结婚要找个合适的人呀！哎，他是男的，你是女的，怎么不合适了？别给我挑三拣四了，反正我就是不嫁，我是当妈的。
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we will show you how feminism is reaching places as remote as China, how it is making women not want to have children, ending up as leftover women. This is what they call women who have beaten with the wall in China. Before we begin, we want to thank you for being here. Your support means a lot to us. If you like what you see, we invite you to subscribe to the channel and give us a like. We'd also love to hear your experiences in the comments. Your participation helps us grow and reach more people. Thank you for being part of our project. Let us begin.
Are you a leftover woman in China? First, you are over 27 years old, which is the entry-level age for leftover women in China. Second, you want to get married but you just cannot find anyone to marry. Third, you have high standards for your future husband. Lastly, you have a pretty successful career in terms of your age and you have a good college degree. But somehow, you just cannot find anyone to get married. What Chinese women realize these days? First, marriage doesn't guarantee a happy life. This is why the divorce rate in China is insanely high right now. Women start to realize that being a stay-at-home mom or full-time housewife is not an easy job as expected. Second, women don't need to do everything and no one can have it all. Third, being independent doesn't mean that you have to split the bill with men. Fourth, idol dramas are toxic. Lastly, the most popular Japanese feminist in China, Chizuko Ueno, once said, "Feminism is by no means an idea that weak people trying to become strong. It's an idea about pursuing respect even weak people can get. No matter what you choose to do, you don't have to get approval from men."
Brothers in the West call it hitting the wall. In China, they call it leftover women. The Chinese play hardball. It's that this wave of feminism is reaching every country, even Eastern countries where family and the strong male figure were prioritized. Now, even they are being influenced by the Western feminist wave. Their idol is a woman from the colorful hair movement. Now, if everything could go wrong, it's that the world's birth rate is dropping. China made the mistake of the one-child policy, and this, coupled with the influence of Western feminism, is making women want to raise standards, minimize men and family, leading to more leftover women every day, more women above 30, single, hitting the wall, because the wall doesn't forgive. Women take it as if men are afraid of commitment with strong women. It's not that. Men don't want to date a boss. They want to date a sweet, loving girl who has no problem doing acts of service. But the colorful hair movement says being a homemaker is being oppressed by men. This is causing fewer women to want to marry, ending up becoming leftover women.
I don't think if there is any movement in China, but more and more Chinese women are decide that they are not gonna get married or have any children. And we even have a saying in China, which is called 不婚不育保平安, which means if you don't get married and you don't get pregnant, you're gonna be the safest by yourself. But a lot of them still planning to maybe dating guys or sleeping with the guys just for pleasure, if you know, you know. But many young girls don't want to get married or having kids. In fact, on Chinese social media 小红书, one of the most popular vlog is single by choice, child-free women share a day in their life. And it's always very relaxing, very fun, very enjoyable to watch. And in the meantime, another trend in Chinese social media 小红书 is mothers a day in their life. And their life is more like a chaos because there are a lot of kids and all them did every day is just cooking, cleaning, taking care of their kids, blah blah. So because of those two trends, a lot of Chinese women might realize they are not suitable for kids or they don't want kids because they want to spend all the money and time on themselves, which is nothing wrong. Oh yeah, and there's another Chinese thing, which is 儿孙自有儿孙福，没有儿孙我享福, which means children will have their own blessing, but without any children, I will have all the blessing by myself.
You know what this means? More burden for the state and their parents. Of course, because a woman who doesn't marry is a woman who takes longer to become independent. Currently, the economy, not just in the West but globally, is very expensive, which means more people struggle to sustain themselves alone. Did you see the girl from the intro? She can't figure out how to survive. A couple that stays together grows together because it's not the same to row alone as it is to row together towards a goal. These women only want to have nights of passion without commitment. The current world is teaching them to live in promiscuity, from the Blue app to Instagram and various channels where more and more women show themselves suggestively, or the majority of women who enter the adult world. This is because they are told that they can be whatever they want, strong and independent. Brothers, today it is said that 50% of women will be single because unlike here where women can at least find a partner after 30, in China, men still strictly adhere to not dating leftover women. These girls end up alone. Just look at the situation in Japan, which is the country where people have the least intimacy in the world.
You know that in China, if you are like you guys who's successful and you break up with a girl, you gotta pay a breakup fee.
Shut up.
What? In China, there's no credit union. Nobody check your credit to be a normal man. You didn't pay for a breakup fee. You are a garbage. You can't get along. That's what's happening in China.
I like that.
A breakup fee is calculated based on the girl. For me, like I'm expired at 25. So if breakup is me, it's fine. Just dump me. But like, if somebody's under 25, went to the best school, skinny like a chopstick, pale, light skin. Like light skin is considered pretty in China for some fucked up shitty standard. A small face with a tiny lip. I mean, pretty face by Chinese standard. You gotta pay her a lot of money. All my friends in America, they're like, oh my God, I'm missing out. It's so awful. I wish my boyfriend gave me something. He didn't give me nothing. I'm like, Stacy, don't complain. He gave you herpes.
Imagine wanting to break up with your toxic girlfriend who treats you like garbage and then having to pay her for it. That's why I say the laws, both in the West and in China, are against men, because everything is to benefit women. Then we hear that we live in a patriarchal system when women have all the rights in their favor. Look at the beauty standards in a country where lately women are gaining more weight, while in China, the thinner and paler, the better. Now I understand more and more why women over 27 are single, ending up as leftover women. They don't want children. They're women you have to pay to leave. On top of that, they're empowered and only want money. No wonder they say it'll be 50% single women without children. I'm telling you, it's an epidemic of loneliness.
China, we have a term called 剩女, literally means leftover women. That refers to women who remain unmarried at their late 20s and beyond. I have to say Chinese and Western perception on women's age vary dramatically when it comes to find long-term partners. I think this is the reason. You all know that Confucianism was originated from China and deeply shaped our culture. According to it, men are the core of the families and were granted power over their lives. The women should always accord with their fathers when young, their husbands when married, their son when widowed. Women are always subordinate. Additionally, genders are divided into yin and yang. Women are yin, that should be soft and tranquil, whereas men are yang, that is hard, active, and dominating. Then you can come up with your own answer that it is the younger, naive, inexperienced girl or mature, older women that are more willing to follow and be obedient. So if this is good features of being wives for Chinese men, elder girls with more ideas, self-awareness, broader vision, and better career might be perceived as hard to handle.
Let's be realistic. The older they get, the harder they are to handle. In a previous video, we saw what anger can lead to in women. A woman who, when young, pursued studying, entered university, and after graduating, didn't decide to marry and start a family but instead chose the path of climbing the corporate ladder, hoping for a better position before getting married. Sometimes, this wait turns into 5 to 7 years or more, let's say when they're in their 30s. Now she's hitting the wall, but this woman has been competing with men, influenced to become strong-willed, even becoming a boss because she's been fighting against other men for those higher positions. It will clearly be very difficult for her to revert to being a soft, high-quality, and gentle wife because she changed her mental chip to be a boss. And men don't want to deal with that because there can't be two men in a household, and we're not going to let the woman take control of the house because that will end very badly. That's why she's ending up single, because men at her level don't want a boss. They want a soft and gentle girl connected to their yin energy, not one connected to their yang energy. Because two people at home with yang energy would be yang-yang. What men want is yin-yin.
As you can tell from my outfit that I was made in China. Yes. Look, guys, I'm really sorry for the COVID. Yeah, I'm sorry for it, but I didn't do it. I was here the whole time. I know. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Last year I was roaming around in the city and this guy just yelled at me. He was like, yo, go back to China. I was like, sir, there's no flight. I left China about 3 years ago because I feel pathetic. Yes, people are really judgmental. If you're like me, over the age of 27, not dating or not married in China, you'll be called leftover ladies. I know it is brutal, but I love leftovers. Come on, who doesn't love Chinese leftovers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it back.
I know. Thank you. We are yummy and cheap. That is my Tinder bio. Chinese leftover, yummy. Just take me home and eat me. I know. Yes. My parents are the one who always pushed me to get married. I remember my 30th birthday, my dad just told me, he was like, huh, can you lower your standards and get a husband? I was like, what, Dad? I don't have any standards. You know, just like my mom. Yep, I know. Yeah. I don't understand why people want to get married. Almost all of my married friends are miserable. The other day I was chatting with a friend. She was complaining that I wish I hadn't married, you know. All the BS from my in-laws. My husband is lazy. My kid is a failure. I was like, what the heck, Mom? Are you serious, you know? No wonder I'm not married. That's my time. Thank you guys so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Very funny, but imagine a father seeing how his daughter decides to stay single. You, who imagined a house full of grandchildren, sharing with your son-in-law, having family dinners, now you see yourself with a 30-year-old woman still living off you because she's so strong and independent, but sponsored by daddy. The worst part is being called a leftover woman. That has to be quite heavy. How's your daughter, so-and-so? Oh, she's just lingering around the house. God, I tell you, they play hardball in China. But joking aside, this is worrying. Women don't offer the same labor force as men. Artificial intelligence is advancing so fast that low-skilled labor jobs will disappear first, or office jobs, to be more precise. And people are living longer, becoming a burden on the state. If this continues, the system will collapse because there won't be enough workforce to handle so many elderly people. Another issue is that women live longer than men, work less, and receive higher pensions. Imagine how that burdens the state's finances. Schools are empty without children. This will lead parents to start arranging marriages for their children from a young age so they don't end up alone, as is happening currently. Because 50% of women in China will be leftover women. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. What do you think of the term leftover women in China? Would you marry an Oriental woman to preserve Chinese culture? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.